Yo, I need y'all to breathe with me for like a cool few minutes. Inhale. Hold it. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Hold it. Inhale. And exhale. Very slowly scan your body and see if there is any pain or any discomfort. And apply care to that spot, like a loving touch or like a little massage. Maybe roll your shoulders back if you've been slouching. Loosen up your jaw if you tend to grind your teeth. Massage your temples. Stretch your hands and just sink into this feeling with me. Unless you're driving, then I really hope you didn't do all that. I would ask, what is up? But I gotta tell you, today was one of those days. A lot of good stuff happened. You already know what it is with the little crystals. Like, a lot of good stuff happened. Here it is. And with all that good stuff, a lot of power. This is unscripted, as per usual. If you are new here and this is the first video of mine that you're watching, I've been doing these this video diary or a video journal, if you will, for the past, I think, week or so. And I, unless I'm otherwise moved, do one video a day, and it's typically at the end of my day at night so that I have something to talk about, which is what happened to me like in the day. In the past couple of nights I've been pretty tired doing the videos, but tonight in particular I'm tired in a different way. It's like not just tired in body, it's tired in spirit as well. What is going on with the dress today, guys? So, look here. This video isn't just easy listening, which if it is, I'm glad that you're enjoying it. But it's also, you know, you have a safe space, you have a person here, a friend who's very into providing a safe space for you to be. 3 minutes and 33 seconds as I say that. But this is also a place where if I am moved within my spirit to say something, I do. And if you are watching this video, odds are this may hit for some of you and it may not hit for others. If you have been following certain nudges, intuitive nudges within yourself, and you've been doing a lot of movement recently and a positive, and then today or yesterday you started to doubt because you started hearing different voices than the intuitive voice that you've been listening to, there is a reason for that. When I tell you that this type of shit is no joke, like, you sign up for this shit. And it's like, once you put on the glasses, once you have trained with Morpheus and you're coming out the Matrix, you don't get reinserted. Like, Cypher in the Matrix really was a bitch ass, because you should know that. At your big old age, you should know that you can't be reinserted into the Matrix. You'd have to be a baby again. No, they was gonna kill him. They was gonna kill Cypher. Like, he wasn't gonna be here no more. But as you are doing things, you may And I'm going to go ahead and say this may be a heavy video. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. But if I remember to say that, I want to say it. But I started, in order to segue into this point, I started my committed and devoted spirit towards metaphysical stuff in October 16th. And through that first part of October, it was a lot of like ritualistic things that I would do. It was a lot of getting a journal, starting to write in a journal. It was a lot of, incorporating walks into my day so that I would do walking meditations or working on deep breathing and things like that. It was a lot of preparatory stuff. In November, I believe that may have been one of the most interesting months of my life, because during that time I was, and much love to you, because I just saw 6 minutes and 6 seconds of my video, much love to you if this is a similar story or if you're going through something similar. I'm right here. I got you. We're together, you and me, in this moment while you watch this video. The month of November was odd because I was being moved intuitively to trust and to not ask questions. Did I still ask questions? Yes, because I'm used to asking questions. I'm used to knowing, at least in some capacity, what's going on. I'm not used to flying blind, which is what I've been doing since October 16th. And in November, that's where I started setting boundaries within my own family and friend groups. And this is also during the time where I started to show that I was listening to an intuitive nudge by acting very differently in settings that I was familiar with, such as interviews, such as workplaces, such as the classroom. Like, I really started to do what I was moved, not just at home where it was private and nobody could see it, but also while I was out. And it's December 18th. And we're not even at the end. We're not even at Christmas yet. And I cannot believe the lengths that the human brain will go to keep the body safe. I did not realize that as I was working, and this might be you, but as I was working through my spiritual stuff and I was becoming more confident and I really was starting to break cycles, I did not realize that the internal doubts that are usually, they used to be in my voice. Those doubts that said, you're not pretty enough, you're not thin enough, you're not smart enough. Those doubts that said, you have no idea where you're going, your biological clock is ticking, you're aging super fucking fast, and all of these negative things are coming at you fast. You ain't gonna be nothing. You gonna leave here alone. All of those thoughts used to be in my voice. Once I started doing the spiritual work that I've been doing, they were not my voice anymore. And I could recognize them because I was like, I would never talk to myself like that. I would never talk to myself like that, is what I started saying, because I had to get very aggressive about those negative thoughts, because I'll be damned if a negative thought stands in between me and something that I actually want. It's not happening. And I don't know if that's just like the Aquarius in me, but I'll be damned if these little wayward doubts are going to slide in. But then today, for the first time, and it scared the shit out of me, and I was talking to my sister about it in the car because she experienced the exact same thing mentally in her own space today. The voices of the doubts mimicked the voice that I hear my intuitive nudges from. It was as if it was the predator. The predator with the dreadlocks, who's hunting down all those people and pulls, skull out through their spine and all that. It felt like it was mimicking my intuitive spirit. And what it was saying was not spirit at all. It was super negative. It was super self-deprecating. And when I asked my gut the question, because I'll usually place my hands on my gut or I'll place my hands on my head, center of, kind of where I am. And I will say, if I knew what the answer was, what would that answer be? Or I'll ask myself a yes/no question and see how my body feels. And that typically works for me. It grounds me. It's really great. But today, when I asked, how am I feeling? The voice, or not how am I feeling, but I asked a question about, Is it true? 10 minutes and 10 seconds as I'm saying this. I said, is it true that this stuff that I see in my mind for myself is coming? And the voice said, of course not. Of course it's not coming. You've been so silly. It's been really funny to watch you run around. You're talking to yourself. You think you have this great plan and this great purpose, but you don't. And I said it like that because that's how it sounded. It was gentle. You'd be forgiven for thinking that there was care behind that. It was the same gaslighty bullshit that I've been hearing from people who mean well, who essentially at the end of the day are saying, I don't see you handling this. I don't see it working out for you. And I immediately started to spiral. It was immediate. And I started freaking out because I was like, I've been following my gut this whole time. And what you're telling me that I've been doing all this stuff, I've been making all these changes, I've been setting all these boundaries, and I wasn't supposed to be doing that. I started freaking out. Guys, like it was an intense moment for me. But luckily, I was in a place where I was at a friend's house when this moment happened, and I felt in my spirit, and it was loud. It was louder than anything else. It said, go to sleep now. Put your phone in your back pocket, because I was lying down. It's like, put your phone in your back pocket, go to sleep. And I was like, I'm not even really that tired. I knocked out for about 2 hours. And when I woke up, I was like, what was I thinking before I went down for a nap? Like, I literally have a journal full. I have screenshots. I have timestamps. I have receipts of crazy shit that has been happening to me since October that is proof that something is happening. I don't know what, but something is moving in spirit, you know? And I thought about it, and I felt it out again. Didn't know. I get in the car to come home, and my sister hits me with, so something weird happened today. And she explained to me that she started having doubts about a situation she's going through. And the voices sounded like some of the individuals who are on her spiritual team. And she said she recognized it as bullshit immediately because she said that's not how they talk to me. That's how there are a couple of people in her life who talk to her that way. And she was like, that's who that sounded like. But it was almost as if it was trying to sound like the voice that I was listening to. Bro, look here. What we discovered on this ride home is that your brain, when it realizes that you are about to step into a new realm, you're about to be in a completely different place that you've never been in before, you're breaking generational curses, you're stopping these cycles, you're throwing monkey wrenches in these unhealthy, toxic ass cycles that you've been in for who knows how long. And you are moving forward, and your brain goes, we perceive unfamiliar territory. So we have to step up the amount of resistance we cause the body so that it will stop moving forward, because you're going into an unknown place you've never been before, and the brain thinks, I can't keep you safe in those conditions. I have to know what's going on. I have to know what the fuck is happening. So then the brain leveled up from that place where it was using certain excuses. Oh, I'm too tired to do this. I literally thought, coming home, I'm too tired to do a video tonight. And then I felt, well, you know you don't have to. And I recognized that voice. And the you know you don't have to is the same voice that I've had any time I've been doing something worth doing and I got scared. Or anytime I was doing something worth doing and I started to get impatient. And I was like, no, I actually really enjoy doing these videos. And I was like, well, how am I going to do it? Because I don't feel super smiley and super laughy today. Like, I'm tired and I'm a little irritated. And like, I don't want to do this. And then I felt the familiar intuitive nudge, which was like, the reason you're doing these videos is to be authentic. The reason you're doing this is because this is what you were so moved to do. It was the next step in your journey, and you've been given no further instruction except to stay in every moment that you're in enjoy and be grateful for the small things that are actually little examples of the big shit you've asked for, and keep doing the goddamn videos. 15 minutes and 15 seconds as I say that. And I got home, showered, got my water break. If you haven't had a sip of water in a minute, get you some water. Now is that time. I don't hear some of you sipping. So, if you need to pause the video and go get some water, do that. Bro, staying hydrated is so good for you. Elasticity in your face keeps your organs clean. For those of you that don't know, drinking water actually helps your organs work better. Because as you don't drink water, your blood does weird stuff. And it's hard for your organs to process it. And it gets harder and harder and harder if there's just stuff backed up. So drinking water is not just something that people do because it's cute and because it's so quirky. Because, oh my gosh, I don't like drinking water. So I'm just going to drink a Coke every day. I mean, if you just drink a Coke every day and you still kicking, more power to you. But for those of you who know better, and for those of you who know you're not built like the Coca-Cola person who can have Coca-Cola every day, or Pepsi, or Dr. Pepper, or Mountain Dew, or, Fanta. Yeah, those of you who know that you're not built like that, drink some water. Go get some water right now. Hop to it. You can pause the video. But, bro, after I got out of the shower and I was standing there and I was like, where's my uniform? Because that's what I call this. It's my work uniform. Because honestly, this is the type of stuff I want to do for work. I want to get dressed and I want to be authentic and I want to play. My phrase that I've been saying is I get paid and pampered to play. So a lot of people say I get paid to work. 17 minutes and 17 seconds in this video as I'm saying that. Some people say I get paid to work. And I've been saying that for years. But I've started a new affirmation, a mantra. I get paid and pampered to play. And I like that. And I've spent a good chunk of my life working. And I know a lot of people who spent longer working. And so a lot of people say, well, you still haven't paid your dues, or this is just how things go. I disagree. I disagree. It's just simple as that. I've had so many things happen where I have, work has been taken from me, or where good things have happened where I could take extended breaks. And I thought they were bad things because of the nature of those situations. But then it turned out I needed to sleep and I didn't know. And I wasn't going to sleep anytime soon, and then, it happened. But to realize that doing these videos is super cathartic for me. Oh my gosh, it feels really good to be able to talk out how I'm feeling and to be able to talk out what I'm doing every day. Because sometimes I do this instead of journaling. And I'm still not moved to go back and watch them. But the process of talking it out really does help me out. And so it's not just for you guys. Again, I want this to be a safe space. I hope that you get information that's helpful. I hope that you get some tips. I'm all for a fresh tip, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, when we do stuff, some of it has to be for us. At least a little bit. So the voices are, they're changing. They're adapting to the growth. But the cool thing is that because I have select people who I know are on that time with me, people who aren't going to make fun of things I say on my spiritual journey, people who, even if they're not spiritual, they get it, they respect it. 19 minutes and 19 seconds as I say that. That's crazy that it's been in the teens. I don't know, that's really weird. But, yeah, surround yourself with people that have your back. If you have people who are close to you right now, and those are the types of people to where you can't say 100% that they would have your back in a situation where maybe your life depended on it. I know that's a bit heavy, but it is incredibly dangerous to not just your physical body, but to your emotional body and your spiritual body, your very soul. to have people around you that are toxic. Energy vampires do exist. For those of you that don't know, energy vampires are people who roll up into your space and they zap all the energy from you. They'll leave, and sometimes they don't even leave. They just keep taking because they're there. These types of people will constantly be in a position where they're taking from you. And you're constantly giving, and you're just tired all the time. Beware. Beware of those people. Check all your relationships. For some of you, this is a message you need to hear. Check all of your relationships right now. Are you happy with the state of the relationships that you have? If you're not happy, why are you not happy? What's going on? Write it out, talk it out, voice memo it out, talk to a trusted friend or something. And when you have reviewed that and you know why in each relationship you're not happy, is this something that can be changed by setting a boundary or by talking and listening to a friend? Is this something that they've been doing this for years, and every time you're about to say, stop, I don't want to do this shit anymore, they hit you with some, well, this is just how I am. This is just how I am. That's one of the most irritating phrases to me, is this is just how I am. Because 21 minutes and 21 seconds, as I'm saying this is for somebody. I do not like the "this is just how I am" phrase, because to me, you are relinquishing and choosing not to use your power. You're opting out of making your life something that you are benefiting from. And nobody else is going to benefit either. This is just how I am really does, to me, sound like you've resigned yourself to just let life have at you. And life is meant to be lived. It's meant to be something that is done. You do life. You don't just, life doesn't do you. I mean, we all know where our minds went. Let's not fake the funk, okay? But yeah, man. So if you're in a place, 22 minutes and 22 seconds, as I'm saying this, if you're in a place where you feel like you've got a lot of positive stuff going, and then like you're just getting kind of tired randomly, remember that internal doubt is going to adapt. It's going to evolve. It's going to try to trip you up. So for me, because I do these videos, it was a perfect opportunity to talk this out and to recognize it for what it is. And I just heard the question, so maybe somebody's asking this as they watch this at some point. How can you tell the difference between the voices of doubt and the intuition? And for me, it's kind of like, I saw a little thing on the internet that was like the difference between ego and spirit. Ego centers instant gratification. That's what ego centers. Spirit centers the wholeness, the oneness, the health, and it centers the group as well. So ego says, in this conversation, I need to be right. I need to keep talking. I need to be heard. Spirit says, I don't mind listening. I don't mind experiencing and sharing when the opportunity arises. And it's a lot of those things. So for me, one of the biggest things that I did for myself was I started to talk about the things that certain voices in my head would say, or certain things that I felt. And I would describe the feeling of those statements. And a lot of, if not all of the negative statements that I think about myself, about my journey, about my success, about my future, about the state of my relationships, about the state of my bank account, we fucking up some commas. We fucking up some commas in 2025. Fuck them up. But I would see that voice is the same, and I can recognize it. That's why this was so shocking to me, because I've been recognizing those voices, and I've been I've been hitting the Heisman on the asses. I've been dodging hella hard, and I've been doing pretty well for myself. So this sudden change was interesting, but it's even more interesting that it cropped up right as I was today dealing with a cycle, which is, again, if I'm stressed out about anything, or if I'm worried or concerned about my future. And I've had one person in particular in my life right now continues to hit me with doubt. because, well, actually, it's a couple people who are hitting me with doubt because they're worried about the state of my journey. And I'm like, you got more than enough stuff in your yard to deal with. You don't got to be in my yard. Like, I appreciate you wanting to help and hand me the manual that you have that helps you tend to your garden, if that's what you're doing, if you're even tending to your garden. Some people who are trying to help you are not tending to their garden. You can lean right past them and see into their yard, and there's weeds everywhere, their shit's dried up, there are flies. And they in your garden trying to tell you how to take care of your carrots and cabbages and beets. Don't trust a nigga with a fucked up yard when it comes to the emotions. As far as fucked up yards in the reality in general, I don't know. We don't know what they're doing. We don't know what's happening in their space. You know, I respect it. I used to drive past yards with a lot of junk in them, like a lot of junk in the yards, and I used to judge so heavily. And then I visited this guy, and I went to his house, you know, with friends and family. Like, he was part of the family, and he also had a super junky front yard. And he was like, let me give you the grand tour. This man proceeds to take us on a tour of his entire yard. And from the outside, it looks like trash. But when you're inside, it's practically a wonderland of all kinds of trash created as sculptures. But from the outside, you can't tell. And I was like, you know what? There's a lesson here. There's a lesson here. If you see what that lesson is, put it in the comments. Because I like to get people's thoughts on things. I like to know what you all think. I'm a big like conversationalist. I'm a big idea person. Hanging out with people tonight, it was amazing. I got super fed. It was a group of like super great feminine energy, and I was just really excited to be there and to be a part and, you know, feel like one of the gal pals. So that was amazing. But yes, now is the time to be aware of where your head's at. Where's your body? How does your body feel? How does your mind feel? How does your spirit feel? What has been the predominant thought today? What have you been spending the most time thinking of? Because what we're thinking about the majority of the time dictates vibrationally how we feel. When you have a fucked up thought, you don't feel good usually. Or you have a thought that you believe is fucked up, you don't feel great. When you have a good, happy thought, you remember your boyfriend and how he was loving on you and caring about you, or you remember your girlfriend and how she was playing in your hair earlier. Good feelings, good vibes, are feeling nice. So check with your body. Ask it, how are you feeling, my friend? Do you need water? Go ahead and have some more water. Sweet nectar of life. So, yeah, had no idea that doubt was going to elevate in such a way. But I was reading this book by Abiola Abrams, and I would say I'm going to put it in the description, but I'm not because I'm tired. And in her book, she is a speaker, a spiritualist lady. She did I think it's the African Goddess Initiation book, Rising something book that I have. It's a good book for anybody who's looking to get into a spiritual practice, and you happen to be melanated from the islands. It's very heavy in those areas. It's a lot of different places though, so if you are so moved, go check that out. Abiola Abrams, Abiola Abrams, Abrhams. I know for those of you who need to see stuff, that didn't help worth a damn, but sorry. In her book, she said, usually, in her experience, as people begin to grow out of the places that they were in before, they are met with even larger resistance and doubt within themselves. And when they not when they realize, I just heard the toilet flush and it threw me off of my train of topic, my topic of keep it together, man. The resistance and doubt that you experience is in direct correlation and reflection of how big the things that you're asking for to happen. So if you're asking for like a cup of coffee and you're like, I would like to have a cup of coffee today. I don't know how that's going to get done because I don't, have any money in my bank account, for an example. And you're like, well, if I don't get a coffee, it's not that big of a deal. You're going to have a little bit of resistance to that idea that you will somehow be able to buy a cup of coffee even if your bank account's empty, if historically you don't have another way to get that. However, if you think to yourself, oh, I want to, say, be the first person to go to college in my family, or say I want to own my own business, or I want to get my business off the ground. Those things for the universe, for spirit, are exactly the same as that cup of coffee. But we, however, place weight on things. We say this thing is bigger or better than this thing. And like in science, it'd be like, well, yeah, duh. Based off of height, an elephant is definitely bigger than a wallaby. And yeah, but when it comes to the universe, when it comes to the weightiness of belief and the weightiness of power and spirit and energy, it's all energy. It's all vibrating. Yes, there can be more or less energy given to a thing, but those things vibrating, the universe doesn't see a difference. So we're the ones who say, wow, so I won an Amazon gift card for $50, but I was really hoping to get, this much money that was way more than that. Well, have you bothered being grateful for the $50 gift card? Have you bothered with that? I'm telling you guys, gratitude actually does make a difference. I really thought this was some bullshit because I was like, attitude, gratitude. I've been hearing that since I was in grade church school. You can't trick me. You cannot trick me. It's bullshit. But in my life, I have noticed that even when I haven't been in a spiritual place and when I've been in the very practical, down, grounded, logical, if I don't see it, it's not real, which I can't really say I've truly believed in my life because I've just had so many crazy things happen. And when I explain them to people who are smart people, they're like, yeah, I don't know why that happened. And not to say that there isn't a scientific explanation, 31 minutes and 31 seconds as I say that. Maybe somebody needs to look up some scientific explanations in the comments. But, yeah. I did not expect doubt to come through with such vigor. Oh, as I was saying, the resistance reflects the thing that you are wanting. Like, the belief that you need to have in the bigness of the thing. So it's like, if you believe in a really big thing happening and changing and completely changing your life, then the resistance you're going to experience and the fear you're going to experience that you're going to run up against is equal to that. Because again, your brain is trying to stop you and be like, hey, you, stop. You trying to go off? You trying to go off into a place that we're not used to? You really trying to, and your brain's coming at you like this. Like, are you really trying to put us in a situation where we don't know what to do? Like, why would you do that? And it's like, well, that's growth. This is pioneering. The percentage of people who are usually early adopters to a thing is actually, or not early adopters, sorry, before the early adopters. I don't know which side of the camera this is going to be on for you guys. But at the very, very beginning of a thing, there are people who create an idea and they start doing it. And usually at the very beginning, it's not accepted, especially if it spits in the face of what has come before it. Then you get your early adopters. Like the people who see that this is working and it's been working for an extended period of time, so then they hop on. Then you have your masses. Then you have your latecomers who are like, I need to see this working for a couple of years before I hop on board. And so, in your own mind, as you've been working through your spiritual stuff, you have been doing something that most likely you have not seen around you. I get the feeling that if you're watching this video, you are doing this either with a small group of people, like I'm talking 5 or less, or you're doing it alone. And if you're doing it alone, I super commend you. Because this shit is hard. If I had known how hard this shit was, I still would have did it because I'm a little pit bull. Like, I thoroughly enjoy just like growth and grabbing onto something and wringing it out for all it's worth. I love that shit so much. But I would have been hesitant because I would have been like, okay, that sounds hard as fuck. So, it's definitely been a whole journey, and your girl is tired, and I guess I'm not really irritated. I think it's just uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to be in a place where your brain adjusts to the power of you being like, boop, and it's like, I'm a boop too, like, here I come, bitch. Like, it's very shocking to experience. And then it's even more difficult when you have more and more people who you meet who they happen to be talking about how broke they are, or they happen to be talking about how hard it is to get through in life, because all that does is place more and more negative thought in your brain. And if you're already, duking it out with your inner demons at home, the last thing you need is for your friends and your family who you spend a lot of time with, or your coworkers who you spend a third of your time with, complaining. Bro, protect your peace. I know a lot of people have been protecting their peace and they're like, I protected myself right into loneliness. Listen, my friend, I would much rather be alone than be around a bunch of people who are pulling me down and they don't even know it. They don't even realize it. So it's not even like they can fix it. And you can't really say anything because they're not doing it on purpose. And then if you do say something, then you're the asshole. Because it's like, what? I was just concerned for your safety. It's like, but I didn't hear any messages of hope. I didn't hear any support, did I? No. It was all empty worries, empty threats. I have no prospects. I'll always say that. I think about Bridgerton whenever I'm like, damn, I'm at this point in my life and I'm going to be starting over in a new relationship with somebody. I'm like, I have no prospects. But, so that's pretty much how my day went. It was a long day. It was a good day. It was a fulfilling day. I took that nap to the head and I'm still tired. So I'm so very excited to go to sleep. I'm so very excited to get into these dreams and hopefully have some good dreams and not have to work out more shadow work problems while I sleep. Because that's been happening too. It's like I'm awake, I'm coming to realizations, and then I go to sleep and I'm coming to realizations. I'm like, couldn't you just let me play around in my dreams? Give me a little fun, if you will. Anything. Come on now. Anything. I could be riding a motorcycle. Like, that would be great, actually. To have a dream where I'm just cruising, listening to my music, and I'm on a motorcycle. That would be great. Put it at, like, sunset. I'm, like, rolling through, like, a nice area. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. But, yeah, man. It's been one of those days. And if you are also struggling, I'm right there with you, friend. I'm right there with you. You're not alone. I'm not the only person. There are multitudes of people within the larger collective that are broken down into smaller collectives who are all going through different phases at the same time. So as you are being your authentic self, you're going to lock it in with your people. It's going to happen. I'm confident. So be yourself, give yourself lots of love during this time. Be compassionate. I know that's hard, especially if you're a person who's been a workhorse or you're a person who's just used to self-deprecating everything. Be compassionate to yourself, meaning that you see that yourself needs help and you want to help yourself. Like, that you are not, the thought got up. Said, see ya, bitch. But be passionate, compassionate. Well, be passionate with yourself, but also be compassionate. Pat yourself on the back. Because if you're watching this video, you have to be doing something, because usually people wouldn't even watch this far in a video. If you've watched this far in the video, I'm loving this game. If you've watched this far in the video, please put a moon in the comments. It can be a crescent moon, it can be a full moon, but I would love to see a moon. The moon's been looking so beautiful recently now that it's starting to wane. It's so pretty. Let's go outside and see if it's a waxing gibbous. But anyways, yeah, I love you guys. I do. I really do. And thank you for spending this time with me. And I hope if you're going to sleep that you sleep well, you sleep peaceful. Blessings on your dreams, blessings on your body. I praise your journey. I bless your journey. If you're not going to sleep, blessings on you. I hope that the same sky that I'm looking at, the sun, the moon, and the stars that I see as you all see them, you are blessed as well. And I will holler at you guys in another video at some point. Bye.